What's up guys, Shuckle King here for my round of 16 matchup for the Good Saturday tournament against OmegaJolteon. A couple things before I get into it. I appreciate the support you guys are continuing with my series, so just please like, comment, subscribe if you can. If you haven't already, I appreciate it. And another thing, so this battle, this was right before I went to PAX Unplugged, which was I guess the end of November. I guess I'm a little bit behind my recordings, but I'm going to try to catch up for a reason you'll guys see soon. So I was gone that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this tournament, and that game was due on a Sunday, I think, or something like that. So we played this game on Thursday, and this was also when I had an interview for a job that, spoilers, I did get the job there. So that's very cool. But, so I was going to a friend's house after the interview on Thursday, sleeping over, and then going to PAX Unplugged then. So I actually played this game after my interview, went to a Starbucks, played this game, and left. So my apologies. I also had very little time to actually prep for this game, just because I was prepping for my interview. A little bit of a bigger priority in that regard, but it's okay. I think we should be able to do okay in this match, but we'll see. As you can see in the corner there, his team from most threatening to least threatening is Tapu Fini, Hydreigon, Scolipede, Entei, Megagross, Mega Gallade, Landorus T, and Audino. Tapu Fini's just so annoying. That's my third Water Fairy that I faced. I faced another Fini earlier on, and last game I had a Azumarill to deal with. Though he actually didn't bring it, so I guess maybe not. Hydreigon can be a little bit annoying if it's Scarfed, but it doesn't get good poison coverage, so the Fini should be able to take it on pretty well. Scolipede is there, but Skarmory pretty much 100% shuts that down. Entei is there, but Fini pretty much 100% shuts it down. Mega Gallade can be a little annoying with Poison Jab for the fairies, but I have ways to kill it. It's not going to get more than one kill in the match. And Lando T really isn't that big of a threat at all to my team. I mean, Mega Latios is immune to Earthquake. Fini's going to take a hit and kill it in return. Blue can take any hit except for like a Z-Fly, but if you bring Z-Fly, then he has nothing to hit my Skarmory with. Dragonite can be immune to Earthquake. It hits the Greninja, it hits the Victini, but other than that, Greninja can revenge kill it too. So I'm not too afraid about Landorus T, even if it does have Z moves. Now, a couple of things that I feel like are pretty good in this match are, again, Fini can really handle everything on his team except for Scolipede. He could also, say, taunt like a Wish Passing Audino, which would be very nice. But it really can take on 1v1 versus just about everything on his team. It doesn't take a whole lot, I guess, outside of like a Choice Band and Metagross. Next thing would be Victini. If I have V-Create and Bolt Strike, he really doesn't have any switch-ins to that. I guess Hydreigon could be if he's like a physically defensive spread. But if he is, then Fini can take it on a lot easier. Skarmory should be able to take it on no problems. He's physically defensive. Dragonite should be able to set up on it. So Victini should be very good in this matchup. Even like defensive Landorus T still gets to a KO'd. And the last thing is Skarmory. Skarmory is very nice to handle the Lando T. Can handle the Gallade, the Scolipede, no problems. Can somewhat handle the Metagross. I can't do much to it, but it can't do much back to me unless he has Thunder Punch. But even then, I should be able to live too and roost off the damage and such. So this is the team that I brought here. First Pokemon I have is Tapu Fini. Just max defensive I brought this match. Handles the Entei very, very well. Handles the Landorus T. Will take any +2 hit or take any Z move from it. Handles the Mega Gallade pretty well. It won't be able to OHKO it, but it won't be able to 2-hit KO me in return. Unless you get the Swords Dance boost up, then it can 2-hit KO me at that range. So defensive, Tapu Fini is going to do very well. And as I said before, V-Create plus Bolt Strike, he really has no switch-ins outside of Hydreigon, I suppose. I do a Glacier on it to hit Hydreigon, and then U-turns there for momentum. I have Expert Belt to bluff the Scarf if I need to later on in the match to maybe scare off a Scarfed Lando T or a Scarfed Hydreigon if they're afraid of a Victini in that regards. So he's got to watch out for that. And the damage input increase might show that I'm Scarfed or might not. So he might have to be me guessing there in his calcs. Next I have a defensive Skarmory. Brave Bird to to hit the Gallade, make sure I'm not set up fodder for that. Rolled Winds there to get rid of the Metagross. That's the primary reason there. It really takes on everything but Entei and Metagross. But Entei, I do have Tapu Fini, which really handles it, no problems. Bulu's here with a Kebia Berry to take a Poison Jab from Mega Gallade. Can take a Poison Jab from Scolipede. The speed is there to outspeed Adamant Metagross. In case I want to get 2 Mega Horns off and he's like at 40-ish%, I should be able to kill it in that range, so that'll be very nice there. I have Rock Slide there to hit the Entei and the Scolipede. I think I killed the Scolipede after Rocks. I don't think I kill Entei after Rocks, but it should do enough damage. And Stone Edge probably would kill the Entei, but I don't want to risk the extra chance of missing there. I want to make sure I ensure that damage on it. And that's pretty much it for Tapu Bulu. Mega Latios is here with enough speed, you can see, to outspeed a max speed Hydreigon, not Scarfed obviously. I have a lot of defense, mainly because I figured I'll be taking more physical hits than special hits with this Mega Latios. I want to get as high defense stat as possible to take on like the Landorus T, like Stone Edges, or to take a Mega Gallade knockoff, a Metagross, even an Entei, Sacred Fire, or Flare Blitz, etc. So I'm not going to be taking a whole lot of special hits. Like, I'm not going to realistically stay in on a Hydreigon. If I figure he's Scarfed, then Dark Pulse or Tapu Fini if he has Moonblast. That's something I don't want to do, so I'm going to max out my defense there. Ice Beam to hit the Lando T and Hydreigon. Psyshock to hit the Scolipede and do a little bit more than a Psychic to Fini. And Shadow Ball to hit the Metagross. I don't have great ways to hit the Fini. And somewhat the Audino. Unless if he's, especially if he's like a physically defensive set to take on Psyshocks pretty well. Because I don't have Calm Mind, but I'll be able to get around an Audino. And last is Dragonite, with enough speed to outspeed Mega Gallade. Dragonans fly to really hit everything except for Metagross on this team hard. Ice Punch to hit the Lando T, and Extreme Speed, just for priority if I need it at the end to hit a Scolipede or something like that. Or to outspeed a Entei Extreme Speed at +1. I don't have a way to hit a Metagross too hard on this set, but I have enough things in my team to take it on pretty well. So that's my team. Let's see how well it does in a match. Alright, so as we can see with his team here, he does not bring the Hydreigon, which is very nice. I guess I do have Fini and Bulu to take it on alright, so I guess I'm not terribly surprised, but I thought it did pretty good versus everything else in my team. So I'm somewhat surprised by that. I guess based on a look at his team, I don't expect him to bring a Scarf or otherwise. So that's nice to know. It's probably a offensive Landorus, Rock Polish, Swords Dance, and 2 moves, or maybe even Swords Dance and 3 coverage moves to hit my Skarmory, plus having Z-Fly. And it's probably Rock's Metagross. So the beginning of this match, my least expendable member is probably the Latios. So I'm going to lead off with that just to see. And I can hit his Landorus pretty hard. I can hit the Metagross with Shadow Ball. As we can see from here, though, he is Scarfed Fini, which is good to know. Defensive set would have been a little more annoying. So he does get a big hit off on my Latios, but I'm okay with that, because I'm okay with getting that 42% off. So I know he is either like a timid or a modest Scarfed Fini at that rate. So that's nice. I'm going to switch out to my Victini to take that Moonblast. He goes into Metagross, maybe predicting my Skarmory to come in. I'm going to just V-Create. Really no drawback play there. I'm going to 2-hit KO whatever comes in. He brings in the Audino, which is fine. At this point, he's going to switch into his Landorus T. That's really the only thing that could take it fairly decently. I guess Fini could too, but he doesn't want that chipped, especially because he's Scarfed. I'm going to do a decent amount of damage to it. So I know he is not a bulky Landorus, based on that huge damage that I did to it. So that's really nice right here. So I can go into my Mega Latios, just to sack it off, but he gets his rocks up. I could also gone in for the Earthquake there. So I'm going to recover to get up the decent HP, and then he goes for the Z move, Z Rock. So that's very nice, because I could take that with my defense investment, I know that he's not adamant. He's a jolly based on that damage. So I'm going to switch out to my Finny, which is a pretty good switch in to his Scarfed Finny. And at this point in the match, I want to get rid of the rocks. So it'll be fairly hard for him to get up later on, I feel like. So that should be fine for me. I'm going to go to my Bulu to wreck his Audino, and also predicting the knockoff. I didn't want my leftovers to get knocked off by this Audino yet. He's brought knockoff Audino in the past games, so that's why I figured he was going to go for it there. He goes for the Wish. The play in the Metagross is very obvious, because I can't do much to it at all. So I'm going to go to my Victini, and something basically dies to a V-Crate. Unless he brought in Finny, but again, he doesn't really want that to get weakened too much, because it's not defensive. Landorus is gone, which is nice. I knew it wasn't that big of a threat to my team in comparison to everything else, so I figured that's why he was okay sacking it off. The Galley goes for the knockoff. I'm okay with that, I guess. I get a Moonblast off, don't do a lot of damage to Scolipede. But I do have a safe switch into that, and Skarmory pulls a switch into Metagross, which is what he wanted earlier on, I could tell, because he's choice banded. I get my rocks up, but I'm banded Skarmory, which is not that great. So he goes into Gallade, and I go into my Mega Latios here. But I go into Skarmory predicting the Ice Punch there, because it's not going to do a whole lot to me. And now I do have a choice banded Brave Bird, which is going to do a lot of damage to whatever comes in, I guess except for the Metagross. I go for the roll here, and I actually do knock out the Audino, which is very nice. I'm somewhat surprised he didn't protect there. It was really a no drawback play, guess unless I switched. But even then, I would have switched, say, into my Bulu. Or I guess I could have switched into Victini there, and then he would have had to sack something off again. So I guess not protecting was okay, but getting that pick on the Audino is very, very nice. The Thunder Punch doesn't do much to me at all, and I can safely recover at this rate. I can take a hit, but I'm not going to be able to knock out the Finny, so I want to save it for later on to take on the Gallade. So I'm going to sack off my Skarm, because it doesn't really do too much if it's choice banded at this rate. So I know I can take a Moonblast pretty well. Go for the Bolt Strike just to knock that out. I'm guessing he predicts that I'm Scarfed, which I was trying to bluff throughout this whole match. So I am actually going to be able to knock out the Metagross with the V-Create, which is very nice. The big threat comes in Scolipede. Goes for the Swords Dance. Just because my Skarmory was down, his Scolipede had a pretty good chance to sweep at that rate if he got up a +2. And then he flinched my my Dragonite, though I think 2 E-Speeds would be able to knock it out. So I didn't want to take that risk of me getting swept by a Scolipede at +2, so I just went for the V-Crate and knocked it out. Another reason why was the only thing that Victini did was to take, I guess, 1 hit from the Gallade. But again, I have other ways to hit the Gallade, so again, I didn't want that chance to get swept by the Scolipede here. So I go for the safe knockout. Gallade comes in. He can knock me out at a -2 defense with a knockoff. Tapu Fini comes in. I know I'm not going to be able to defeat it 1v1, but I should do enough damage to it where Dragonite Eat Speed will be able to kill it. And you can see that does a ton of damage. I do go down with my Finny. Dragonite comes in. Should kill the Extreme Speed. At this point, I know it's Scarf, and he's going to go into Ice Beam. So I'm going to E-Speed in case I do get frozen by the Ice Beam here. And I do. So that's a little unfortunate. But as long as my other 2 members don't get frozen, I should win this game. So Mega Latios comes in, goes for the Ice Beam. Does a decent amount, and I do not get frozen. And kill the Tapu Fini there. So good game, Jolteon. Close match, but I felt like I had pretty much control throughout this entire game. The Choice Band and Metagross was pretty cool, though, to bait the Skarmory and then try to sweep a Scolipede in the end. It seemed like your plan. But good game, and hopefully I do well in future rounds of this tournament. So later, guys.